You know, we cover a lot of the video game industry, a whole lot on this program, because it really is a huge business. But Pelham Smithers, he's the owner of a London-based research firm, he predicts that video game revenue this year will see its first decline since 1995. How about that? Joining us now, Tian Wang, a Gamer World News Entertainment host. Now, Tian, this is a projection for this year. It's a forecast. It's not reality yet.
Right.
What do you make of it? Lower revenues for the first time since 95?
Yeah, you know, I think this is actually a bit of a sensational piece because I think I know how they came up to this conclusion as well, because what happened was they were actually using an outdated revenue estimate for 2018 for the global gaming revenue. And so the number that I saw tossed around was $137.9 billion. So if you compare that with the Smithers estimate of this year, then yeah, it looks like the industry is set to contract. However, there was a fourth quarter estimate that was issued in October, which suggested that the revenue for last year was actually $134.9 billion. And so if you compare it to the Smithers estimate of $136.5 billion, it looks like the industry is still set to grow by 1%. Now, granted, this isn't as impressive as the growth from the previous year, but I don't think this is some kind of ominous portent for the gaming industry. It's more that the industry is undergoing a bit of a transition.
Here's a portent, and I'm sure you've heard of this. Ohio State University is going to offer an esports program that will include courses on coaching esports, marketing video games, managing the business aspects of gaming. It looks like you guys have arrived.
Yeah, this is very interesting. You know, even though the gaming industry isn't really set to increase by too much this year, esports is always a potent force. It's going to be growing by double digits. You know, last year, the revenue was about $905 million, and this year it's projected to hit $1.2 billion. And so Ohio State is really interesting. It actually isn't the first college to do this, but it's a very huge college. You know, there's about 60,000 students, and I think it's going to turn some heads.
Did you ever imagine, just say a couple of years ago, that a major university would be offering an esports degree?
Yeah, no, to me, this is just absolutely out of this world. You know, there was another school that did something similar, Becker College, where they had an esports degree, like an esports business management degree, and they even had varsity sports where students could gain scholarships for playing esports. Now, had I known that these kind of degrees would come out, I probably wouldn't have pursued my own career in medicine.
Okay, you're a doctor?
Yeah.
You are?
I am, yeah. You know, the article, they were billing this as like this kind of like pre-med degree for people who are going to be doing careers in esports. And I was like, man, I am jealous.
You don't practice as a doctor. You're a gaming guy, right? You make more money in a gaming than you do in doctoring?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, the gaming industry, like I said, is about $135 billion last year, and it's only projected to grow for the foreseeable future. You gotta go where the money is, right?
Yeah, get in there, lad, get in there. Last one. You know, Gamestop, obviously, a retail store that sells video games. They've had a very, very hard time recently. The stock's really plummeted all the way down, and we've got a chart on the screen right now, and it's a disaster. I think that's because people, you don't buy tangible games any longer. You download them, don't you?
Right, yeah. I heard you making this point earlier, and I absolutely agree with it. And, you know, when I hear the news about GameStop, this actually breaks my heart, because when I was younger, I used to buy a lot of games from GameStop, and there was a time when they merged with the Electronics Boutique that they were arguably the world's biggest retailer. And, you know, the problem is that video games are starting to go more digital, and they're also moving away from not just being a physical product, but also games as a service. You know, you look at Microsoft, and they have their Xbox Game Pass, and it's like you can play any games in their library for $10. And strategically speaking, this is the future, and it makes a lot of sense because gamers will spend more on a subscription service rather than just purchase a game for $60.
May I ask you how many hours per day you play a video game?
Well, okay, that's kind of, that's interesting. When I was in college, I used to play a lot. Like, I used to play, like, maybe, like, I don't know, probably like 4 hours during the day and then like 8 hours over the weekend. I've tried to cut down now. Mostly I play like mobile games, and so maybe like, maybe just a few hours a week.
Is Fortnite the most popular game at the moment?
Yeah, you know, it's insane. Fortnite generated $2.4 billion last year, and I think it's still going to be generating on the order of billions of dollars this year. It's
amazing.
Huge.
Dr. Huang, if I can call you that, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. We found out a lot about you today, son. Good stuff.
Is he a medical doctor?
Awesome. Thank you very much, Stuart.
Wow.
Yeah, medical doctor right there.
Playing games
Game
all
guy.
throughout college, too.
Who knew?
How impressive.